Yeah, baby. Mask up.
Mask
Social
on.
distance. Did we make this disclaimer? We live together, so there's no point for us to mask up or to socially distance. It's not like we're traveling to be here. So let's just make that pretty clear.
Yeah, and I can't do the whole episode with these.
Absolutely
masks
not. No,
on.
I'm gonna suffocate in this.
It immediately destroyed the fact that we pre-cooled this room for so long.
Instantly. Yeah, no, I don't feel well.
All right, so you think anybody notices any differences already with what we're recording?
I'd say we definitely learned a lot from that first episode. I mean, the lighting's better. Camera angle should be better.
Hopefully.
More centered. We're going to try to make it not so boring in here with the walls.
We definitely have some, we have to find some decorations. We have some jerseys we can throw up, some scarves we can throw up.
Some random Mitchell and S shirts.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff.
We got to take it one step at a time. Got the angles out of the way, and now we're going to get to a little set design, I guess.
I mean, we've been collecting this stuff since, 2015 when we started?
Yeah. Well, literally since the first game that we were able to go to.
Do you remember why we became fans in the first place?
Of the team?
Yeah.
Are you asking me, or you know and you want to see if I know?
Oh, I'm just asking. I'm asking because I think it was you that brought it up. I believe.
Yeah,
you sent it.
I think like a lot of the draw was the fact that they were playing at Yankee Stadium. I'm a Yankees fan, and then
I didn't really care for it that much. But, yeah.
And then I'm like, I would say loosely a City fan before I get chewed out by like Ricci and Tom, and Matt has receipts of videos that he can try to prove otherwise of me being a City fan. But between like City and the Yankees going halfsies on this team, I think that was like a perfect storm.
I'd say you were a real City fan in the sense that you hated Jose Mourinho before he was with United. And so I think you're probably more of a fan than any other City fan is at this point.
Yep. But I think I don't even know, dude. Why do you think that? So when NYCFC came around, like that wasn't the start of the MLS. Why do you think like NYCFC really got us into the MLS? I would say because we were like into it. So I guess we would say we sort of followed LA, by way of you being out there, but like we never really cared for the Revs. Like I've been to one game, but it was just because it was like a school trip. But we never really got into them quite as heavy as we are with the team now.
I think overall it was probably being involved with the logo voting and stuff like that, just being involved in the start of the club that really made me fall in love with it, and not to mention going to that first game, like being there in the atmosphere and connecting with the team. That's what really nailed it down. That's when everybody kind of sat there and was like, okay, this is definitely somebody in a club that I can stand behind.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of people that got in the same way as us, just because it's like to get in on the ground floor of something makes it like so much cooler, I guess, and you sort of really feel a part of the organization, like as opposed to like I was talking about my City fandom. Like I may not feel like much of a City fan because I've only supported them for so long, but it's like we've been with NYCFC since like they were an idea basically.
Since the birth, yeah.
Yeah, so it sort of feels like we're a part of the club. That's probably why it's so cool to get into like doing this stuff too, because we could like add a little bit of story to the club.
Right. Do you remember your first favorite player that you had?
Yeah, I have his jersey. Yeah.
Who would that be?
That'd be Mix Discarud.
Imagine the return. Could you imagine?
It was like a tease like a few weeks ago. A few weeks ago it was so fun to be an NYCFC fan with the MLS tournament on the horizon. We're getting over the summer, we're getting linked to anybody that you can think of, any star in like non-American football is like, oh, we're about to get this guy, and we now know we've gotten nothing.
Well, I mean, before the lockdown, we had just signed Acevedo.
Yep.
So in the sense, like we got a solid guy. I'd like to see him come out though. I mean, I believe he's had enough time with the team to at least make an appearance.
I feel like Ronnie might be sort of treating him like even less than a squad rotation player. Like I would imagine that Ronnie wants to give him minutes, but him being like, you know, for the most part unproven in our system because he's never played minutes with us. And then a tournament is like not a good time when we're already losing, like, you know, the tournament as a whole. It's not a good time to like do a tryout basically.
I feel like if Ronnie had that last game against Orlando, when we came out with all those defenders, that it didn't work and it wasn't working. So I felt at halftime they should have switched over to, if they wanted to be defensively sound but still have people going forward and making runs and whatever, they definitely should have dropped a defender, put on another defensive mid, had two DMs, Sands and Acevedo, just kind of controlling the midfield, and then, you know, allowing one of them to make, you know, some progress going upfield.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's sort of kind of what you've seen Sands doing, and I know that this might not be something that everyone at the table agrees with, but I feel across the fandom and in my own opinion that we've sort of seen Sands like become sort of what we would want out of like a deep CDM to a center back where he's getting played occasionally as well with Chanot and Collins, because we keep doing the weird three in the back thing with Tinney and Matarita on the wings, like going up the field, and we keep doing that even though it's kind of not working. But somebody who I feel like has been really flourishing in the system is Sands, because he sort of, I watched which podcast was it? I think it was like the NYCFC Nation, or I listened to them, and I think the guy on there, Andres, he was talking about one of his big points was how like Ring went missing this year so far. Like he's sort of just gone missing.
Yeah, he's kind of just been there. He's still the ringleader. He's still the captain. Yeah, I do see what you're saying when you say that he's kind of just been there.
Yeah, he's sort of. So the guy was saying that he's gone missing, and I agree with you. Definitely not personality-wise. Like, Ring is still our guy. But in terms of, like, production, he's definitely gone a little bit missing. And I think that Sands, in a way, you kind of saw in the Orlando game, he sort of picked up a little bit of that creativity. You saw him making a lot of, like, consistent passes. And occasionally he even got up the field, and he was talking to somebody about it, how he was trying to push up while he was allowing, like, Alex and Chanot to try to man that backfield while he pushed up occasionally. But I just think he's, you know, sort of been doing the Lord's work on our team, because a lot of people haven't been doing the Lord's work on our team.
Sands is good. I don't think he's complete yet. I think he's very young. I think he needs to hit the weight room a little bit more. He's got the frame for it. He just needs to build the muscle required to play in the MLS, because it's a tough, physical league. So he definitely needs to get in better shape. I believe that's why Ronnie sometimes prefers to have the tall dude. I can't even think of his name.
The tall dude.
The tallest dude in the world.
On our defense?
In our midfield.
In our midfield. Oh, Keaton.
Keaton, yeah.
The tall
I don't know why I couldn't. Well, it's hard to miss him, but then again, you watch him play, and it's like, is he on the field?
Yeah.
But yeah, Keaton. He prefers Keaton because he has the frame and the strength at the same time.
Yeah, I feel like Keaton, he sort of has a little bit more attacking, like responsibilities, which I don't know if he really fulfills them, but definitely, like, you hit the nail on the head. Like, the one caveat with Sands is, like, he needs to build muscle, because the one place where he lacks is, like, if you could see somebody like Josie Altidore, like, you know, a big striker, if they throw that shoulder on him, I mean, he's falling back. He's not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he broke his arm, you know. You know.
Yeah. But just overall, yeah, he needs to bulk up. He needs to get on something, because.
Yeah, I mean, he's young.
He is young.
It makes sense. He's gonna get bullied a little bit, but I mean, but the other part of that is him being so young. It is amazing that he wins as many tackles as he does. He's always seemingly in the right position. He's always playing a forward pass, trying.
Yep.
I think Ring is our best midfielder, and I do believe that Ronnie kind of holds him back a little bit by locking down the system and not allowing too much creativity.
Yep, that's exactly
I think that has murdered Ring and, murdered the team in a sense. That's why we're not scoring as many goals.
Mm-hmm. And the goal that we did score,
the 2 goals,
like it wasn't creative. It was like, I think Matrita probably saw something throughout the game that Izzy also saw, and they just happened to take advantage of it, and they got that ball off at the right time, and they were able to, capitalize on whatever they saw that, they were able to catch a high line. And, that wasn't necessarily creative because it was one guy to one guy from the opposite side of the field. There wasn't a lot of build-up play. There wasn't a lot of things going on where it wasn't a spectacular goal. It was just like Matrita got it to him, and then Izzy buried it.
The scary part about that goal and that win is that we didn't play well. We really, again, we didn't see signs of a system again. But what scared me was the post game interview with Ronnie, and he was sitting there saying, "Oh, they just stuck to the plan." So the plan for 90 minutes in a game that we have to win to even have a chance, the plan that whole game was to play long balls and hope to beat somebody on the counterattack. Like, yes, that can work, but in a must-win game, that's not how you're going to go and score 2 to 3 to guarantee a spot. That's just how you're that's a way to play when you just need a result, which we do, and I know it's bigger than just this tournament, but at the same time, we're New York. Like, when have we not been the team to want to go out and score 4 or 5?
Yeah. Well,
that's what the fans expect.
Yeah, we were looking for the clip before the game too, or before the podcast rather. You were looking for the clip where it was like, we all loved that infamous
Ronnie quote.
Yeah, Ronnie quote before the season that got us so excited, where he's like, "I would rather go out and win a game 5-4 than win a game 1-0." Right. And then it's like, but 2 days ago we just won a game 1-0.
And it was our second or third goal in the league. Like, it's.
And we shouldn't have won the game, really. I mean,
no.
And I'm not to say that we should have lost, but if you looked probably at the stat sheet and you watched that full game and you didn't know there was a goal, you'd probably say that was like a 0-0 draw.
Right.
And it just sucks that Miami is kind of getting slagged off super hard by everybody. And I guess it's sort of deserved because they're like the new expansion team, and
right.
they've had the longest losing streak out of any team in history. But like, for us to go out there and just not be able to beat a team in that position off 4 L's, they're a brand new club. They don't really have an identity, and we go on and we kind of mirror them. Don't have an identity. We just look poor in all aspects.
Even the players in the team knowing after that first goal that we scored, knowing that a second goal means the world to the team, makes life so much easier, so that we're not right now waiting for the Houston LA Galaxy game to hope to get another result.
Yep.
If we score another goal, it's so much better for us. And it just didn't, like, Keaton Parks on the sideline laying there, and yes, maybe his ankle hurt. Mm-hmm. Yes, getting stomped on the foot or the ankle hurts for a couple of seconds and then it goes away. But in a do or die situation, you have to get up. You have to get up and run it off. To
blow the last minute of our stoppage. I mean, it was almost a full minute of our stoppage time blown, and I do say it's our stoppage time because it was like...
It was in there. It was close to their third.
Yeah, Miami wasn't making anything of that game. If anybody was going to make something of that game at the end, it would have been us. And for him to sort of just flop on the ground and waste away our last 30 seconds to a minute of stoppage time, which is like such a
incredibly
deflating way. Yeah, frustrating end to a game, but like, it also, I guess, sort of fit the game for it to end.
Fit the tournament. Fit the start of the season so far.
Yeah. But probably just to tune people in. So like he was saying, we right now are like in limbo about whether or not we're gonna be into the round of the 16 on that last spot. So it does make that game really suck, because had we just scored another goal, then right now we'd be in. We just finished watching the Vancouver game, and we thought we were so good until the end, and then they got that second goal, and it's like, all right, so now we have to force ourselves to record so we're not crunching too hard for tomorrow. But Yeah, we're gonna tack on. We're gonna do a live reaction, I think, on camera
to the Dynamo Galaxy game.
Yeah, we'll probably just cut up clips. I'm guessing of like hopefully big moments.
Yeah.
And then after that, if it goes our way, it's probably more likely you're gonna hear another 10 minutes from us. If it doesn't go our way, the
condition of where we'll be for those 10 minutes, who knows? Because we don't deserve it, but
but we're gonna celebrate.
Who am I? Who am I not to celebrate?
Yeah, and if it doesn't go our way, then this might be the last that you hear of that game right now. Yeah. But like he was saying, like we don't, if we don't go through, it's not like we're missing out on something that we deserved. Right. So it is what it is. Just we're in the middle of it right now. We got the LA game coming up in an hour at 30 minutes.
30 minutes. And there's a lot of ways for us to go through. There's a lot of ways for us to go out as well.
Yep. Basically, we just need LA to beat them.
Beat them by 2 or less, or draw.
Yep.
Perfect scenes. Even an absolute banger of a game like 5-4, we're going through. As long as it's in the favor of Galaxy. I actually had a thought today while I was working, kind of how the MLS could handle everybody being in the bubble right now and still get more games going. All of the teams that are getting bounced out right now, if they have games scheduled coming up against each other, why not knock them out right now? You have everybody tested. You have all of the fields, all of the facilities. They're in shape right now. Why not knock it out? And it's going to give whoever, ESPN, whoever wants to pick it up, is getting extra TV money.
And whoever picks
extra
it up,
exposure. I mean, these players are already committed when they came here.
Yep.
If their team had high goals, they're committed to being here for a month or two anyways.
Yeah,
so why not?
Would assume everyone has the high goals.
I know I'm just a guy saying this. I fully understand, but it just seems like a perfect scenario to sit here and go, hey, the people who are knocked out, why make their season stop right now until who knows when? Have in the worst case scenario, NYCFC go play Chicago Fire. Why not?
Yep.
Give us some games. Give us something to watch. It just seems right.
Yeah, like you said, it loops back to what we were talking about at the end of last week. It's like now's the time to take advantage of the eyes because like in 6 months you're not gonna have the eyes anymore. Right. That is a really good idea though, and give us some more NYCFC soccer because it's looking grim, and if we can't watch them play for like another 3 or 4 months, it's gonna suck.
It's gonna be rough. I mean, I can't tell you what kind of condition I'll be in if I can't have some soccer to watch specifically from NYCFC. So
and then you have the Prem coming to an end soon. Hey, so there's gonna be a drought.
MLS $1 million idea, ESPN $1 million idea. I'll give it to you for free.
Call us.
Give me a call, but just link the podcast. That's all.
Yeah, it's a
free idea. Just link the boys.
One link on Twitter.
Link the boys. Why not?
Maybe a little Instagram.
Take a picture with me, Commissioner. I don't know. Races. I'm just saying. So that one's free 99. My ideas in the future will not be free, so just give me a call. All right.
All right. Cool. One last thing that I think I wanted to ask you. So I was talking about Sands potentially being my man of the tournament, and I think we could probably give our like man of the tournament now because even if we go through, we don't deserve to. So realistically, our tournament's pretty much over no matter what happens. So who do you think? Like, who would you say has been the best player on our team?
That's interesting. It's because we haven't really defended well at all. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like the star player on a team, having high tackles, high everything like that. But if the whole team is still conceding goals, how much is that really affecting the squad?
Yeah.
So when I'm thinking my player, it doesn't necessarily need to be somebody who's high in any specific stat. For me personally, when the team's playing bad, all I'm looking for is somebody who's playing with the most heart, who's running to every ball, trying their hardest to scream at the teammates and say, hey, what are we doing? Get it together. To me personally, that guy's Tati. He played with the most fire. He was always trying to make a run. His shots weren't always on target or always the best, but he was always the one, in my eyes, trying the best.
Yeah.
Or trying his hardest. So that would be my player right now. I think that's the best player on the team right now. Because me personally, I value heart. I don't care who lines up. It could be a random 11. With the MLS, you're kind of conditioned to do that because there's such a high turnover.
Yep.
But I don't care who lines up. Just play with heart, and you win mine. Simple as that.
Well, that's something that we really always see from Tati, and I'm glad that it's not just like a when we're down thing. Like
exactly,
it doesn't matter if we're like winning by 3 or if we're losing by 3. Like you always see Tati. He's thrown himself into those challenges.
Yeah.
He's like very distraught when things are not going our way.
Yeah.
He lets it be known too, and I like that he also doesn't take anything from the other team. Like when they're trying to not pick on him, but they're giving our team a hard time and stuff like that. Like he's always the first to try to run up in a challenge and stick his neck out in front of a teammate and just kind of get his for his. So
yes, he wears his heart on his sleeve.
That's all you could.
He plays for the badge. That's my favorite trait. Just play for the badge.
It's so easy too.
Oh,
it's so easy.
Yeah, I mean I like the chippiness that he plays with. So. That's why he wins my heart in this moment. I think going forward, as long as Ronnie trusts him, I think that he's going to be a really big part of the team.
Yeah, it's cool to actually kind of see a coach trust him in a big way because he hasn't had that before.
Right.
And he's been with us for a few years, probably 2 or 3, right?
3 years, yeah.
So, and no, Dame hasn't given him love. Vieira never gave him love. And I guess one of the redeeming qualities of Ronnie is that he's here to give Tati some love. Because we've been giving him love as fans and like nobody else. Yeah.
I rock his 65 rated player in career mode. I'll play him over anybody.
Right.
I'll sign big players and play Tati over him because he just plays for the badge. He's just one of those guys.
Yeah, it's just such an easy trait to win the hearts.
Right. So, EA Sports, give him a face. Give him a real face.
Yeah.
I think he deserves it, genuinely. I think our team should be working with EA and get their real faces in there because got some star boys.
Yeah, we're definitely we're one of the powerhouse like MLS teams. I would say it's just for one reason or another we're not performing like it, and that's what's so frustrating. But
I wish we would go back to kind of being a feeder team for City, where they send us their newer signings that come and hang out with us for a little bit, like Angelino, who was with us, then he goes over to PSV, goes over to Red Bulls in Germany, and really sparks their career. And now he's going to head back to City eventually and be a great player. Jack Harrison just got Leeds promoted to the Prem. So it's like
that's our first alum boy to get into the Prem, right? I mean, aside from Angelino, but
right.
You could argue.
He played like 2
he didn't
appearances.
He didn't take the path that Jack took there to sort of.
Jack lit it up.
Really,
I love him back.
Lit it up and carry his team. Man, that would be quite a retirement. Who knows? In like 8 years, we're still here rocking and Jackie.
Man, I'd be 30-something. Oh, I would love it.
Jack comes back to the team and just tears it up.
Yeah.
The state of the MLS in the future could be so crazy if we just capitalize right now on things like this.
Right.
It could be so crazy.
Oh, can we? I just want to say something really quick. The bag fumbled by Charlotte. Oh, you guys had the chance to have the best name.
What'd they do?
They had the chance to have the best name in the MLS, and they decided against it.
What would the best name be?
Charlottetown.
Charlottetown? Yeah, it would have been pretty.
That would have been
fire.
So. I mean, even just to watch, that would be fun to watch. I'd watch them just because of their name.
Yep, and they went with Charlotte Soccer Club
Charlotte
or
Football Club.
Football, okay.
Which is like, Charlottetown sounds so much cooler.
Charlottetown.
And I think
or even just Charlottetown FC, like just have the town
whatever,
in there.
Whatever it is, just have Charlottetown. But I do think FC is kind of getting played out. I think there's a little too much of it, especially because everybody's calling it soccer anyways. So it just doesn't make a whole ton of sense. But
yeah,
and everyone wants to copy the new boys from 2015 with the FC. So.
FC. Except, nobody wants to copy Orlando, which is cool though.
Yeah, SC. I think SC
Hasn't. I don't think there's been another team, right?
I don't think Nashville maybe. I'd have to look it up.
You're right.
I think Nashville.
You are right.
But in the context of American soccer, in this case, I think it's pretty cool to say soccer club. It is kind of sticking the finger to people over the pond who are like, oh, you call it soccer, so why do you have so many FC players or teams?
Yeah.
So it does make sense. So I think what we're going to do is go ahead and wrap this portion of the video up.
Yep.
Get ready to go watch this game.
The LA game.
Keep our fingers crossed.
20 minutes.
And give you guys some live reactions to that. Get this all together.
Hopefully get back on the mics afterwards. Very happy. Very, very happy. And moving on.
Hopefully. I'll risk... I won't risk coronavirus to celebrate. I'll be honest.
No, probably not.
In theory,
unless it was like with a bunch of fans, because we were almost ready at the beginning of the season because we had tickets to the home opener, dude. And then it sucked so much. Like was it the night before? I think we found out.
1 or 2 before.
Yeah, it was 1 or 2 nights before we found out that we couldn't go, and we were like, had already worked up to the point of being cool with being around all these people, like. And we were even at the point, it's like, all right, we realize the season is probably about to get canceled, but let's
give us one game.
Let's get this one game in. It's been so long, but unfortunately that didn't pan out. So
how many home openers would that have been? And inevitably, when we are allowed to go see them, how many is that?
6. There's only been 6 seasons.
Could you imagine a world where there's a home opener? I think that's going to be the case.
What?
I think by way of Corona, we're going to miss the first ever home opener because we won't be allowed to go. That's going to be the thing that breaks the streak.
So it's cool.
I know, but the streak
does suck. I did remember we have 2 shout-outs to give.
Shout-outs.
2. Yep.
Go for it.
We got these boys right here.
Hartford.
These Hartford boys. We have some love coming for you guys soon, probably. I don't know if it's going to be... Probably not in the form of like a full-length podcast, but we do show you love on this podcast often. We try to get at you guys on Instagram constantly and try to like keep up with the fans. We do love you guys. You're the closest like professional club that we have to us, so we're riding, we're dying for you. Yeah, and you guys are on a tear. I think it was last week. You went in there, you stomped the Red Bulls at their home like 3-0 or something, and then 2 days ago or so, you went in and you crushed whoever for like 1-0. So
y'all, I think those might be flipped, but
maybe backwards. Yeah, but either way, you put the Red Bulls down. So we're with you. We were with you anyways. Damn, what a change from last season, right?
Yeah. I mean,
what were we like 0-16?
It was rough. It was really rough.
It was bad, but we're back and we're better.
Whoever's in charge of that club really did a good job of flipping everything. It seemed like they had such a high turnover.
Yep.
New coach, new players, new kits, everything. I mean, it was a real turnaround.
Did you see the assist that Mandanda had?
No, I didn't.
Bro, he kicked that from like literally from goal, and it just dropped on the new striker's foot, and he just took it to goal and put it away. Wow. And I think he got goalkeeper of the week or something for them, so that was cool too.
Yep. So 6 points out of 2 games. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. Keep it rolling.
Yep.
Keep it rolling. We'll love to come down and have some hot dogs.
Yeah, they had some glizzies.
Yeah, they had some hot dogs and beers. So.
They had fans at the game the other night.
Yeah,
I think we were working.
Super but
also,
social distance.
Yeah, super social distance. We weren't gonna make it out there probably either way if we were free, just because it's a little crazy. Yeah. But the people that did went cool. Stay safe. And then the second shout out would be Katie from NYCFC, the photographer.
Yes.
So I guess she, we've seen her pictures before, definitely, I'm sure, even without knowing that it was her. But we reached out to her to see if we could use like her photos, because she travels with the team. Like she's in the bubble right now and stuff.
Right.
And she travels with the team. She takes training photos and she kind of does all of their photo albums on their website and just across their social medias. We reached out to her, asked if we could use the thumbnails or use her pictures for our YouTube thumbnails and audio podcast thumbnails. She said yes. So thank you. That's very cool. So we'll be using those.
Super nice.
Yeah. Way more high quality thumbnails coming.
Yeah. And well, not only to allow us to use them, but
Yep.
like replying at all when you don't need to.
Yeah, right.
Is like top notch, and then replying quickly. And
Yeah, that's such. I mean, it was like 30 seconds, like such class. She just responded and she was like, "I hope it even helps you guys out and stuff." Like, it's cool to see the love that I feel we probably would put back into the community, or that we do, like getting it back from us, because it does make it seem like, you know, this NYCFC community is super cool.
Yeah.
I think that's why we try to even talk about other podcasts. Like, I brought up NYCFC Nation, and then last week you were talking about the Cooligans.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's cool if you know, we all kind of have a common goal of just like loving the team and trying to grow the team itself, the team's brand. Yeah, because you know, we're all in this together, and we all are gonna go through the downs and the ups.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we get an up in like 15 minutes. We need it. We need it, boys.
We need a big up. But yeah, shout out to everybody else making content for NYCFC. I think this totally brings the club up to a different level. I think it's going to be huge for exposure for the club. And as a result, we just get to be along for the ride and talk about our favorite club. So,
yeah, that's cool.
Respect.
So we'll be back shortly. It'll be like a second for you guys, but with reactions like now.
Right
now.
Nah, cool.
All right, one last thing. We forgot 2 shout-outs, I guess.
Two more.
This one
Two
right
more.
here. 2 more shout-outs. We already had 2.
Right.
One for my mom and my little sister. They made us these fire masks. We got them today. They make this dude look like he has the biggest ears ever.
It is what it is.
Looking like Dumbo, but it's cool. And then our last shout-out is this man over here. You come up. You can only be seen probably by this if you come next to Dustin.
Right. Or even this camera here.
This camera too, yeah.
This guy.
Scoot down.
Yeah, you gotta go
this
down.
is Malachi.
What's up, guys?
This is the love of our lives. He's about 7 foot. Yeah, 7 foot, 17 feet tall.
About, give or take.
Yeah, and that's our big brother. So
that's our big boy.
Our little brother, that's big.
Big Orioles prospect.
Yup.
Rehabbing.
You'll see him definitely. Well, he's on baseball fields now, but you'll see him on the big boy fields very, very soon. So we'll see you. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pavón! Let's go, Pavón! Yes! Let's go, baby! Let's go! Oh! Heart's literally beating out of my chest. Pavón!